Hello. Welcome back to my creative channel. So in this video, we will look at the information found on a commercial pattern envelope back. So we're going to work our way from top to bottom. Students usually knows, well, Ms. Pratt, you have a picture here. And it looks like you have the information and it's duplicated. If you look closely, you will see that the information on the left is in English and on the right is in either French or Spanish. Okay, so if you speak a particular language, you will focus on that part of your envelope. For me, it's English. Okay, even though I would love to speak another language. Okay, so here we go. We have first off your measurements chart, also called a size chart. I want to get this glare out. Can I? Not really, anyway. Okay, so here we have a size chart. So this is important for us to appreciate what our body measurements, how they compare to the actual pattern body measurements. Okay, so the pattern is made for a particular size human. Okay, and they want you to pick which size is best for you to manipulate and use, okay, for your purposes. Now, it's very slim chance that you will be the ideal size 14, 18, 22, etc. Okay, but you have an idea of which one you should cut out to manipulate and alter it to be your ideal size. Okay, so this is important to know. So if you know your bust, waist, hip, back, neck to waist measurements, you will be able to use your measurements chart effectively. Under the measurements chart, we have your yardage chart. So the yardage chart in these 4 boxes, this tells us how much fabric we need to purchase. So this helps us to not waste our money and buy too little fabric and have to go back to the store and waste your valuable time. So in order to use your yardage chart, which is highlighted with these 4 boxes, in order to use this chart correctly, you have to know 3 things. You have to know what your size is you'll be using and cutting out. You have to know which style garment you're making at that moment. Okay, this pattern has 4 styles. And you have to know how wide your chosen fabric is, okay, or the width that the fabric that you want to use. Okay, so fabric comes 2 widths, 45 inches wide and 60 inches wide. Some come a little narrower and a little bigger, but ideally, usually, commonly, these 2 sizes. Okay, so we'll appreciate how to choose your yardage in another video. For now, we'll move on. You also have your finished garment measurements. So usually under the yardage chart, you have your garment measurements. This is a helpful little box from the commercial pattern company that tells you what the finished garment will measure at in particular important areas, namely your bust, your hip, your back length, and even the length. So maybe it's your pants length, your pants hem width. So this helps me to appreciate how the garment will fall when it's done being created on my body. Before I even make it, I can visualize that in my head. Okay, so this is important to compare the finished garment with your body dimensions to make sure it fits and looks the way you want it to look like. All right, you also have your fabric suggestion list. So you will have a plethora of fabrics that the fabric company believes are ideal to purchase to make your garment. Okay, now are you limited to this list? No, but they want you to have an idea of the type of fabric weight that is best for this pattern. Okay, you also have a notions list. It's usually labeled as requirements. So these are the small items that are added to your garment that end up being a permanent part of your garment or your craft or sewing project. Okay, so for each style, it's different notions you may need to purchase. So you look carefully and you look at the style you want to make and see if there are any suggested notions in this box or list for you. And you also have an outline sketch view of your garment back. Usually it's the back view, okay? You will see the front view in some envelope backs, but usually it's the back view, just to see the little details that are important for you to note before you purchase your pattern. Some envelope backs, it has a fabric stretch gauge, usually at the edge somewhere of the envelope at the back. Now, if you have a pattern that is made specifically for knit fabric, then the gauge, it helps you to test if your chosen fabric has enough stretch for your sewing project. It's oftentimes a little bar that has black and white, okay? And it's often at the edge of the envelope back somewhere, top or bottom. Okay, now one thing to note, inside the yardage chart, you'll see this word here, interfacing. Now, I discussed interfacing in another video, but it's extra fabric that you install inside your garment that's not visible. Most garments tend to need this, especially professional wear, formal wear, they tend to need interfacing. So they will recommend the type and the width, and they'll give you the yardage for it. That's why you see it in the yardage section. It's a different fabric outside of your main garment fabric, but if you want to have the same look as the front view of your envelope, then it's advised that you use it. So you have to always use interfacing in your garment? No, you don't. But you'll have a different look if that's your desire. Okay, so there you have it. The information found on your commercial pattern envelope back. So until next time, take care and happy sewing.